We got to get the cable guy out here. Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good Friday morning. And no, that is not Todd. He didn't readjust his camera. That's his replacement. Todd's off on holiday today. Good morning, Lag. Um, you want to introduce yourself, Todd's replacement?
Well, I'm sort of camera shy, and I don't know. I don't know how this thing actually works.
Oh Lord, that's Scott. For y'all that didn't catch the voice. Good morning, James.
I'm not good at disguising my voice.
Yeah, I do good to even just have mine like it's supposed to be. Well, today is the 100th episode of the My Mornings show.
So you
So,
tortured us for 100 times. What the hell?
yeah, I've tortured you people. Good morning, Joanna. Oh, he's having. Is that his real name, Locker Nuts? He's having a.
He had a heart attack. They're cracking him open with today.
Oh,
That's
wow.
scary. How old is he? He's got to be. He can't be even my age. I wouldn't think. I saw that yesterday on Instagram. That's crazy as hell, man. You got to enjoy the time you're here. You got to live your best life. I'm telling you. In a couple months, we'll come up on Kevin Tyree's been gone 2 years. Dusty and Tristan been gone over 2 years. You never know. Enjoy
Yeah.
your life.
I
Steve
mean,
is 100% right. Enjoy your life, folks.
um, I was just sitting here watching Scott's show and had a very mild one. I mean, a heart attack's a heart attack, but I had a very mild one. And you just never know. And I was feeling fine up until that point.
I'm glad.
So,
I'm glad Roberta has accepted the fact that I didn't cause that.
she was gonna move in with you if I had a win, had a gone. She'd have moved to Alabama and worked remotely. Let me catch us. Good morning, Lag. Good morning, Night Nurse. I was watching your show the other evening. I posted the link in the chat if anybody wants to come into the show with us.
That means
Uh,
I'm not a good enough guest. So come on.
listen to you. She has a lot of people in her show. I mean, she does, and I think that's at night. Good morning, James. But we we hope he does. He is having 4 bypasses. Oh my God!
Yeah, I saw it. Let me look and see.
Yeah, I did. They just did a stent lag. See, Julie, I just felt like somebody was sitting on my chest. I didn't have one of like you see on TV where they're grabbing their chest and falling in the ground and all that kind of stuff. Nothing. It just felt. First of all, I thought I had indigestion, and yeah, I was just noticing that shirt. I like that shirt too.
Yeah,
And
Jody thought it was funny. Bigfoot walking a dachshund.
yeah, and I just it's I took a couple of Tums and it's nothing. So I went to Roberta and I said, I think we need to get to the ER. And we did. And later on that evening,
Yeah, you got to, Julie. You got to take it serious. So because they really don't know everything. So I get a yearly physical, and they a couple of 3 years ago, 4 years, they ran an EKG, and they're like, we need more results. So they sent me for a stress test, and I failed the stress test. I failed the EKG. They're like, you need to have a heart cath. We need to see what's going on in the back side of your heart. And so of course so guys, you can understand with this. You're laying here, and they're going to go through your groin, and so they're like, the nurse is going to have the surgical shave the area and do this and that. And I'm sitting there thinking, this is the perfect time. Where's Ratchet? Where is the ugliest nurse in the hospital? Because you're laying there with a loincloth. Before that, the nurse comes to get you, and I'm like, Nurse Ratchet call my name. It's some like 27-year-old cute little blonde girl. I'm like, well, damn, that's not what I was. And then the next thing you don't want to hear is as you're laying there, they if you've never had a heart cath, they have a little piece of cloth like this, and they go, "Don't worry, the whole time you're out, you're gonna be covered up with this." I'm like, "What good is that?" Um, and they just all laugh. They go, "Yeah, everybody says that." And then a lady comes in and says, "Don't worry, I'm your nurse. I'm the one that's gonna be in charge of all this." Um, your wife really is Joni? I'm like, "Yes, ma'am." That's not good. And she goes, "She's my first cousin." I'm like, "Well, shit."
Did you say she's from down that area?
Yeah, Joni's from here.
Oh, is she?
So
Um,
I'm like, I'm batting 1,000. Joni's family is in here, and yeah, that was awesome.
Thank you, Lag. I don't know how you know that. I guess you found those photos when I was 19 years old on the internet. Um, Good morning, Beth.
I mean, it really was like, no, why? I'm like, that was just crazy.
It's you know you 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 hear these things, you see them on TV, and you know what? The whole time he was doing because they made an incision here, went up that way. I I was out. Let's see how I didn't feel anything,
Nah,
but I could hear them talking, and the doctor giving the instructions, and every once in a while he'd say, "Mr. Hooks, you okay?" And I'd say, "Yeah." And he says, "Well, if you have any problems, you let us know." And
so they went in and they determined everything was just fine. Arteries are clean. It's because of the way the heart position. They said sometimes they just can't. The machines can't pick up that backside of the
right,
heart. And so now every year when I fail it, like I had EKG this last week, I you know the doctor comes in and says, your EKG looks really good. It looks just like it did last year. We still have problems seeing the backside, but since that's your normal, we know that everything is good. But so the moral of the story is you can survive procedures, you can survive all these other things. Heart attacks are a lot harder to survive, so take care of yourself, folks. We like even lag. We like seeing you guys every morning and talking to you ladies. Last month was breast cancer awareness. Um,
Roxy.
okay, so are you broadcasting to Rumble today?
No, I didn't. I'm not.
Right. All right. So if this screen goes black, we'll come back on Rumble. Um, so yesterday I was watching some videos, and it was Pfizer quietly announced to the Canadian people and the Canadian government um, that there was a virus as part of the vaccine. There was a virus that was in part of the concoction they gave everybody that was used for polio. The problem with this virus and polio is when they use it in polio, they estimate that virus caused 100 million cases of cancer worldwide. And that is why you're seeing the tremendous spike in cancer right now among people who have been vaccinated, is because they knowingly put a virus in there that had a high probability to cause cancer, and then they had governments around the world force you to take it. There you go. That's the truth. It won't make huge news because they're going to suppress it. But it came out in Canada yesterday. Do the reading and the research. It's scary what they've done with that damn shot. If you got the shot, you need to make sure that you are damn sure seeing a doctor. Remember, they can detect a lot of cancer through blood work. So if you're getting your blood work done every year,
Yeah, they don't even have to do the old-fashioned prostate test anymore. That when if they do a complete battery of blood work,
yeah.
they can tell if you've got any problems there. Which I'm surprised. I'm surprised when when you go in for your annual physical, um, and they draw blood, um, they're not testing for everything. I don't understand why they're not. night nurse, I believe, is a nurse because she was talking about that on her channel, and so she probably gets a lot of grief. My emojis have been blocked. Okay. Uh, hey, you can do a poop test. Not really. I prefer not to do that. You know, this for the Scott's favorite prime minister up in Canada.
Who
I think he's on his way out.
who Castro's son?
Yeah, I think he's on his way out. I believe he is. Everybody just seems to be on his ass about something. Even the people in his party.
Haha, caught you. Your
Seven
mama.
hundred and $50, James.
You want some coffee, Phoebe? You want
Mm.
some coffee?
Well, I will not. We will not be taking any more of the shots.
Are you Dave's little bad puppy friend? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think he's going to. I don't think he's going to be up there again.
Listen here, you fuckers. I don't like any of y'all. Y'all can kiss my puppy twat.
Yeah,
She truly don't. There's Franklin's treat. Oh, you already got it. Franklin dropped his treat because Franklin's retarded. Franklin's retarded. So Johnny has gone to the one of her doctor's appointments. I'm not going to tell you which one, but it's the cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. That one. So these two are out here.
because you're lonely in the house. You know, people with catastrophic illnesses,
Yeah.
they should. I mean, I'm surprised all of them. My lovely bride, who I love more than life itself, I'd stand in front of her and take a bullet for her. Sometimes I really think she needs to talk to somebody besides me. Uh, just because of they go through a lot of stress. I mean, for Roberta, after she had her procedure, we have to really monitor her blood work and whatnot. But Joni, in her case, she's still going on and dealing with this stuff.
Well,
And
well, just think about what they did. They knowingly put in a virus that is a high carcinogen that has caused an estimated 100 million cases of cancer, and they are a company that sells cancer fighting medicine. Get that now. Even if it wasn't a so-called death shot where they're trying, a lot of the rumors is they were trying to make patients and all that make you dependent on them for the rest of your life. I'm telling you,
I would like
trust them at your own will, at your own peril.
I would like to have a lot of money to buy one of these pharmaceutical companies, a small one, and let it be known that I'm hiring scientists, and they're going to be their priority is to find a cure for cancer. That's all
They
they're going to
already,
be doing.
they've already got a cure for cancer.
Well, that's what I'm saying. How many people? I mean, which one of these companies is going to come out and say, "Oh, we've got it. Our people just discovered it,"
They
because
selling,
they're already sitting on it.
selling the cure puts them out of business.
Yeah,
Look,
but I would like I said, I would like to have the billion of dollars to buy a small company and the cure for cancer and anything else that we have, in major issues with that is a major draw on people's wallets. Let it be known that that's what we're going to be doing, and we're going to give that shit away. We're going to make our money back off of it and then give it away for fucking shit. And see how many people all of a sudden, how many companies come out and say, well, we've got a cure for that already.
go read up on cholesterol, and once you figure out there's no such thing as good cholesterol and bad cholesterol, that uh, that your heart needs cholesterol to function, and all these issues you're having because they're pushing these statin drugs on you to lower cholesterol to a point where your body needs. I'm telling you,
I would, but like I said, I would like to force the issue that these people have to come out and they have to admit how long, and then have to say, well, how long have you had it? Well, we just got the finding on it right now. Well, if that asshole down in North Carolina had, would you have released this if that asshole down in North Carolina was saying that that's what he was going to do?
that if you find a Tom, they'd kill you. Just look at anything that's happened with any kind of alternative, any kind of alternative power or any kind of alternative fuel for vehicles, any of that kind of stuff. Uh, there's the people that make all the money will take you out in a heartbeat, and not sleep, not have a bad night's sleep or think twice about it. Okay, can I?
Okay, since Mike, the crazy card, brought it up, let's just say with the aliens, let's just say we are visited by the Federation, and they came in here and said, "Hey, here's one shot. Will cure everything that you people have to deal with."
Okay,
What
so
would that do? What would that do? I mean, would all these big pharma companies be buying nuclear missiles from North Korea to try to blow them out of space before they can give it away? I mean, how much would that um, change the world, not just for the sick people, but for big pharma and all the doctors and hospitals and whatnot? I
I don't.
mean,
I don't think there are aliens. I listened to. So I was listening to Joe Rogan yesterday, or I've been listening to him. It takes a couple days to get through one of those 3 hour podcasts while I'm shipping and doing whatever. And he's talking to a scientist, and so he started talking about. I know he was a little bit funny, but a little bit not. Because he didn't think there was other life in the universe, and he said, "What's the one thing they supposedly show up in flying saucers and all these other little craft and stuff, and all these aliens get out?" He goes, "What's the one thing they're always missing?" He goes, "How do they build these crafts? Every alien they've ever showed, not a one of them has a set of thumbs. How do they make these damn crafts?" He was it's pretty interesting. What's the guy's name? I'll look him up on Rogan. The guy who I've listened.
I mean, it just like I said, I just I just think that, like you just said, I believe that some of these pharmas are sitting on cures for stuff because they know they will go broke if it's released.
So
And it,
his name is Brian Keating. He is a cosmologist, and that's not the makeup folks that Tom uses. He's a professor of physics at UC San Diego and a host of the podcast Into the Impossible with Brian Keating. It's been very interesting. Man, I mean, I'm telling you, Rogan just sits there and asks. So the secret to Rogan is he's just a curious dude, and he'll sit there and just ask questions that we all want to hear, and get somebody talking on a subject, and just be that any man, and it's just. And he finally convinced people years ago to go, you know what, an hour's not long enough. Just let me do my podcast as long as I want it to do. And it's his success. I mean, more power to him. I'm glad he's had a ton of. He's a funny guy. But yeah, Rogan.
but I feel sorry for these folks that need meds and they can't afford them. They're worried about eating or taking their meds.
He's
You
only
know,
available on Spotify, so you can use it for free. You can listen to him for free, but Spotify is the only place you can get a lot of like bits and pieces of his show here or there. But if you want to listen to Joe Rogan, he's on Spotify. He damn near owns Spotify, I think.
did you ever get your podcast going?
I decided there's another one of those as I'm thinking about. I'm like, it's not really worth the time. If they want to see me, they can find me on YouTube. Else, I mean, what? I mean, how much monetization is there to do a podcast? I don't think there's a ton of monetization in that.
Beth was working on starting one, and she was telling me about it when she was here in North Carolina a few months ago, and it's a lot of there's a lot to it. You know, it's not like YouTube where you just turn on the camera and you start talking. There's a lot to it more than that. Uh, and I'm like,
I know this.
I'm lazy.
I know, I know that StreamYard will give you an audio only that you can go from, and so that
Right.
makes it a little easier. I don't know if this. I don't know if EveMux does that or not.
I haven't even looked.
But yeah,
It just seems like it's a lot of
and I think it'll be harder too because if you want people to listen to it on a podcast format, especially if you're just going to take the two Wednesday show and
right,
cut it up, you still, you know, I'll read the chat. We'll talk about what somebody says, and if I forget to read it and we just start talking about it, you know, the person is out of the loop. I think it would make it
right.
a little difficult.
Um, whose birthday is it? Is it Larry's birthday? I heard.
Larry's birthday was yesterday.
Was it yesterday?
I think he turned 80 yesterday, right, Larry?
Are you serious? Damn, he's older than Todd by a lot. Like I said, 80's looking good when you get to my age. So you
Yeah, I meant
young
to.
whippersnappers in your 40s, you know, you just
I saw it and I forgot. I meant to tell Larry happy birthday and I forgot.
know I'm celebrating doing 100 episodes, okay, of this nonsense. Uh, I did finally get fully monetized again, so I might make $100 next year.
So it says Larry invented dirt is what James said.
He did what?
He invented dirt.
He invented dirt. Let's see.
Yeah.
When I was diagnosed with chronic blood clots, my meds were 1,200 for a week. Whoa, Eliquis. Well, see, you know, this thing about SHIT hitting the fan. That's the way they talk about it. That's the thing that concerns me more. I can I can become a vegetarian. I can grow vegetables to eat, and I can them and live off of it all year long. But people like Roberta and Joni and Julie, you know, what happens if all these meds that they need to have is not available? I mean, what happens to them? Because
I
are they
want to know.
manufacturing or are they being controlled by the government or whatnot? What happens to them?
My biggest question is how many of these can Johnny live without? They're just forcing on her
Yeah, you
because
know,
a lot of hers are like, you know, pain medicine, and I mean she's got a bunch of medicine, but I think once she came off some of them, she would realize her life is. I don't think her life's improved very much.
you know, and you always think about, well, if we cut out all the crap that we eat, you know, and really went to a good, good diet, would that make it, lots of vegetables and stuff like that? Would that make a difference? But like I said, that's my biggest concern about. Uh,
See,
is about if
Johnny
things
has
take the turn for the worse, is that are these meds going to be available?
Johnny's a little different than Roberta because a transplant she has to have the rejection and all that stuff.
Right.
I'm sure that Johnny doesn't. She doesn't have those type of.
It's just that's what worries me.
No, I get it. It would definitely be a concern. Like Ron Harbor has the same thing with several
Yeah.
transplants.
I think he's a new person. I think he's been totally rebuilt. He's had so many transplants. Uh, and I'm not saying that harsh or anything like that. I'm just saying that apparently he's had. Oh, sorry, baby. a lot of transplants. Okay, lay down.
Ron, are you listening? Hey, next one, sign up for a personality.
We've been eating margarine for years. It's plastic, not butter. Absolutely. But it tastes good.
I messed
But
with him the other day, and yeah.
um, what was it? The cook from Savannah, Georgia,
Oh, Paula D's.
Paula Dees. She starts off everything out with. First of all, the first thing in your pot is a stick of butter. You know?
But there's a huge difference between butter and margarine. Butter is fine, but so that's just they sold you in the 80s. You know, before you can find out some of this stuff. Look what they sold us in the 60s and 70s. That sugar was fine, that fats were bad. I mean,
How many times has eggs been bad for you?
eggs have been bad for eggs were the perfect food, and then they demonize eggs and all. It's yeah.
Yeah. Uh, there is a there is some people that okay. I went up down. I fell down a hole one night. I was looking at these raised boxes, for gardening, and because I want to springtime, I want to plant some tomato plants and some pepper plants and things like that, and that led to homesteading and whatnot. And this one young couple, I mean, they're in their 20s. They they have a few cows and they have a bunch of chickens. They have built their little house, which has grown into a big house because they keep adding on to it. They make their own butter. There's a machine that instead of doing the hand churning, it does all the churning for you. But they make their own butter. They do everything.
It's not the one in the sexy little outfit churning.
No, that wasn't her.
I guess that's a different story.
A sexy wrist. He's on a holiday today with his wife. I think he's somewhere, and I'm assuming that he's with her. Uh, Joanna, I grew up with a garden in the backyard,
He was wearing
and
he was wearing that high karate yesterday afternoon when he got home, and Gwen just jumped on him and said, "You're taking me out for the weekend, big stud."
yeah, that's it. Um, we had a little tiny garden when we lived in Charleston, and then when we moved to Rock Hill, we had a half acre lot, a half acre that was okay. My dad's house and mom's house was like an acre and a half, so 1 acre was taken up with lawn, and then the other half was a garden. We planted, we fed half the neighborhood off of fresh vegetables all year long, all summer long, and so we did a lot of gardening. We did a lot of canning, and we did not buy a lot of. My mom's grocery bill was nothing because it was basically things that we couldn't grow in the backyard and um, meat. And then we went to a they call them a locker plant, a butcher, country butcher, and they would buy like hamburger by the 20 pounds at a time, that kind of stuff, steaks and whatnot. But yeah, so like I said, I fell down a hole, So and I really respect this young couple because they went from living in a condo, going to the clubs and all this kind of stuff to they woke up and said, we're not saving any money. We're really not getting ahead here. She got pregnant, so they made an extreme change. They went from a very nice apartment condo to a little tiny house, and like I said, they've built onto it, so it looks good. And I mean, I just they really they have like 100 and some thousand subscribers, and they deserve every one of them. If nothing, to the people that's in their age bracket, that to show them that you don't need the Gucci purses and whatnot. which I'm not trying to take away anybody's marketplace, because there's people that sell Coach and Gucci and all those other high brand purses, but and shoes. I was talking to a buddy of mine. His wife spent $2,000 for a pair of pumps. I said, "Are you still married to her?" He said, "She makes a $500,000 a year. She can wear what she wants." She's with one of the big law firms uptown. Most of my garden feeds my chickens. We don't eat many vegetables. James? Jeez. Uh,
But just think about what your 100% what your parents. I mean, just go look at folks. Go look. We talked about this over and over. Go look at pictures of people in the 60s and 70s, and look at and just walk in Walmart for about 5 minutes. It's the size of people is tremendously different.
I know there's people out there with thyroid issues and stuff like that makes them gain a lot of weight. But you walk around Walmart and look at the people riding the scooters and look what's in their little basket.
I damn near got run over by one when I was in Walmart the other day. I turned around and she's big as this damn desk. I'm like, well, fuck. What? I'm sitting. I was talking to Joni. I'm like, you know what? Here's something they should do. If you were over 350, Walmart should give you Walmart Plus for free, and that way you don't clog up their aisles, and they'll bring it to your fucking house. And then you really don't have to move.
You know, I would just like I just about got run over by this young lady, and in her basket was Pepsis and you know cookies. There was a few vegetables, but if I weighed that much, there would be no sweets in that damn basket at all. Because I don't know how people function. I mean, at that weight. Because when I got up to 300, thank God I'm down to 275 now. Um, I was getting to where I couldn't get out of bed. I was miserable. And that's the reason I started really dieting and walking on my treadmill and whatnot. It's because I was freaking miserable. I don't know how. And I have a sister in law that's really big. She's
Everything
got a lot of medical issues too. But
when I
I
got to 50, my knees were hurting, my ankles were hurting. I was blaming everything but my fat ass. I feel a whole lot better at 193. I can tell you. A lot of it is just getting up and moving around.
yeah.
You can get these watches for nothing. I think I paid like $4 at a yard sale for this one, and it tracks your steps. It tracks all this craziness. I mean, you don't have to have the $900 Apple Watch. It just gets up and it tracks your steps and get up and move around.
I've got a Fitbit around here. I never could get it to activate, and I bought it brand new, and it's still sitting in the package in yonder somewhere.
It doesn't work with Windows 98.
I I don't know, but I never could get it to activate. I really need to get my son, and I think I'm gonna give that to him his Monday challenge. He's off on Monday. He likes tech, so I'm gonna tell him to sit down and see if he can get it to work for me. Because
It's
I bought two at an auction, and they're Fitbit brand. I bought two at an auction, and I bought one for me and one for Roberta. And I
the hardest thing is figuring out what if you know what model they are. Just Google it. Fitbit um, was bought by Google. Google owns them. So if you've got an Android phone, so it works very well with your phone with all these widgets and everything else. It'll work on an iPhone, but it doesn't work. You don't get the fancy widgets and all that stuff.
right. I just want to tell me how it was like $7.
Because if you're
I,
if you're
I
depending on your phone to tell you how many steps,
yeah
there's a huge difference in the two. Because I lay the phone down all the time.
yeah.
And
Well, I had one of those little things that you hang on your waist, that count your steps.
I thought you were about it's like a
Yeah,
G string or something.
I was I was running. I mean, I was walking, just walking like 5,000 steps just inside of this house doing stuff, and not on the treadmill or any of that type of stuff. So just
Good.
once I boosted it up to 10,000 plus steps,
ten
then
thousand
I
is the
noticed the
key.
weight start coming off.
If you can do 10,000 a day, that's the. Jennifer, good morning. You must be confused calling us gents. You must be talking to the chat because I know you're not talking to me and Tom.
Good morning, Jennifer. Hope you're doing well.
I mean, it's. Let's see what the watch says 389 steps so far this morning, and the phone says 152. It's already half. It's because I got up and start because this will track your sleep and all this stuff too. So I generally leave it on until it dies. Um, that's better, Mister Larry. There. Good morning, Jack.
Good morning, Mr. Sadie.
Yeah,
It's
that's
good to see you this morning. Did you get all your decorations put up? Um, but I think that's what I think is the hardest thing is not. Good morning. Oh God, you gotta. I'd like to talk to Anissa's husband one time. Find out the lowdown on Anissa. What's she really like? She's so Mary Sunshine when she's in the chat.
you got this all wrong. We don't want to talk to her husband. We want to talk to the ex-husband. We want the dirt. We don't want the one that he's going to be politically correct because she's going to kick his ass. We want the one that ain't got nothing to lose.
uh, it's because she's just always so chipper, and I don't know how she can be so chipper in the morning when she's just got two teenage girls off
That's why she's so happy they're gone.
to school. But it's Anissa, you got the Starlink. Are you still liking it? Because we're looking at a piece of property for like a weekend cabin type thing, and they don't have internet out there because it's so far out in the boondocks.
See, there you go. The husband has a tractor and the ex has a well. So, oops.
And so we're looking at our opportunities for internet out there, and there is so many out there.
Larry, you're not going to say anything bad because you're so old. She'll put you in the well. So there you go.
That's right. You got to be careful of girls with large pieces of land because they can find a place to put you that nobody bury you that nobody will ever find you. That's what my niece used to say. She says, "I got 50 acres. I got places I can bury you, and they'll never even look to find you." Oh Lord, these country girls will kill you, literally. The Starlink. What do you like it? You don't like it? Has it been problems? Starlink is good for internet, but it's choppy for streaming. Okay, that's what I kind of heard. Um, Especially the ones they have on the cruise ships.
Well, there's a lot of them, but there's a lot of YouTubers that I watch that they very rarely go live, but that's exactly the experience they get. They're van lifers or they use Starlink on boats and stuff. I've seen them go live with it, but it is because one of the ones I watched was in the middle of the Pacific Ocean when they went live when they crossed the equator, and it was mostly good. So, but you got to realize where the hell they were. I mean,
Okay, when I was in my 20s, is a lot of difference between when Scott was in his 20s and some of you people in the audience. Would you leave Hotel alone?
did you ever date anybody who wore like a flapper dress and y'all went
No, I
dancing?
didn't do any of that.
the Roaring Twenties.
But these people that have these young people, and there's some older people in there too, but I'll just say in their 20s that have they're living on a boat or they're living out of a van and just seeing the states or the world. How many of y'all ever thought about doing something like that when you were in your 20s?
The ability to make money on the go like that was not there.
Yeah,
There was no such thing as working remote because several of the ones I watched work remote. Maintain like databases and that for doctors' offices and other things. But and then YouTube was not a thing, so you
right.
could not monetize your.
Your experience.
That's probably why we suck. You can't monetize your personality and your experience because
Right.
I didn't want to listen to me and you.
Um, well, congratulations, Julie. And good going, spouse, because she hasn't buried you. Not because you're ill or anything like that or was in an accident.
Yeah, that's impressive in this day and time. It's just you don't see it a ton. And
It-
yeah, congratulations.
you know, and I guess it's just me. I'm just too old, and I really. You see these guys, you hear these guys that's my age, and they start cheating on their wives and lose everything they have just because of some young girl. And when I say young girl, 29s and 30s, a young girl to me. Uh, what the hell were they thinking? Because my wife would take every damn thing I had and everything that I would make for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I don't need two sets of problems.
Yeah, because um, my first wife and I, we were young. We didn't have nothing. When we split up, it was like it never happened. But these people that have been married for like 29, let's say 29 years, and then somebody starts cheating on their spouse. That's just a lot of problems that no matter how good sex is, it's not that good. Because, like I said, my wife would take everything that I've got.
Julie said that she decided last year that he could stay. Mhm.
Well, Joanna, yeah, there's a lot of people that they do it for several years and then they've done it. I'd like to watch. If anybody's in the UK listening, I'd like to watch the narrowboaters.
I've seen some of the people I watch have been through there. Those are pretty interesting.
I find it really interesting. It's not like you're on a speedboat. They're only cruising like at 5 miles an hour.
Not
And
even that. You can walk faster than they don't. You know what I mean?
yeah, um, the boats they have are nice. The ones that live on them full time usually have some really nice ones, and they're constantly moving. But there's a lot of people, especially with the work from home deal. And I'm not sure exactly how the internet works over there, um, but they work from their boats, and unless they have a permanent mooring license, they have to every 24 hours or 48 hours they have to pick up and move. And but these canals are all over England and into Scotland and Wales, and some of these bridges are really freaky, uh, scary. Let's put it that way. But after a few years, they even the ones that have little kids, by the time they get up to like middle school or high school, they're getting a permanent resident somewhere because the kids need to be in school and meet friends and blah blah blah. But it seems like after a few years they've done it, they've experienced it. But I think that's great because when they're old people like me, they can say, I remember back in 2014 I drove all over northern USA in a van.
But the weird thing about the narrow boats, Tom, is there's a couple of them bridges that are so high, and you're on water on them a couple of high bridges. I'm like, yeah, that's
There's one that's like I think going into Wales, and that thing is way up there, and it's
yeah,
only like these. This thing is only like the boats are like 6 feet wide. So these canals are like this. This bridge is like 8 miles. Actually, it's an aqueduct.
yeah.
It's
It's an
like eight.
aqueduct. I don't think two boats can pass. I think you have to go one
No.
at a time.
And normally there's people at each end of the aqueducts, directing traffic. Uh, it's way up there. I mean, boys and girls, it's way up there. And it's, the guy that was I was watching, it's called Cruising the Cut, is the person I watch. Um, he was going across it and he was really nervous about it. Now, this thing has been built since the damn Romans were there or something of that sort. But it's spooky as hell. And then there's this metal to get from one river to the next river. There's this metal contraption that you take your boat out on, and weights drop it down into the water below it, and all this kind of mess. You got to be interested in that kind of stuff. But anyway, my point was, you people that's young, if there's something that you want to do, and you don't have the responsibilities, kids, spouse, do it. Because you don't know, like Scott said a while ago, you don't know when your gig is up. So I
Yeah,
don't see, James. I don't like heights. I like to fly, but if
it,
I had a big company and had a tower, office tower someplace, my office would have no windows.
yeah. I didn't used to think about heights, but as I've gotten older, they're a little more concerning than they used to be. I can't be the only one.
I uh,
Man,
I
if we,
I will not go out. Like I used to have to go up to the 30th story of a building uptown, and I would never walk over to the window. Beautiful skyline. I can see it from 12 feet away from the glass. I would not walk up to the skyline and look out. If they had penthouse suites on the first floor, I would be fine with that.
they keep their 15-minute cities because the one thing I can tell you is every time I get in a big city, that I can stay for about 48 hours, and the thought starts creeping in my mind. I need to be some wide open spaces. I
Yeah,
need not to see these buildings where there's no trees. Uh, I need some space. We live outside of Huntsville. We don't live in Huntsville, and
right.
so I'll probably drive to Fayetteville this morning to pick up my auction winnings, and because I bought quite a bit last night. Between here and there, you go through the blip that's called Hazel Green. Other than that, nothing.
I
I
you know
might
it,
drop the
it,
country way and skip Hazel Green.
it's kind of weird. I mean, I don't like heights, but when I used to scuba dive, you'd be cruising through the water, looking down at shipwrecks and stuff like that. You're going to sink if you're not careful. It never bothered me. I was very calm and collective, very relaxing. Um, but don't. When I was young. We went to St. Louis and we went up in the Gateway Arch. If you haven't ever done that, you ought to do it one time because I've been up there, and unless I go back with Roberta and she wants to go up it, I will never go up it there again.
Oh, you need to go up to Washington Monument. It was not messed up when we were there the last time. Yeah, that's a good view up there.
I mean, it was a beautiful view, but I was like standing in the middle because the thing is not very wide at the top. I was standing in the middle looking through the window because I don't know. I just
Yeah, so when we were in Vegas, I guess in 2019 or 18, the last eBay Open, the not the Delano, but the other one, whichever one it was in, they had a rooftop bar, and that was very because you're right there at the rail looking down, and that was a cool at Vegas at night. That was really really cool.
right.
So some of the stuff like that doesn't bother me, but I don't think about it at the time. But it's just certain.
Um, Mackinac Island, is that the one where they don't
Uh,
have vehicles on the island
uh, no,
up
that
north?
is Mackinac. Do they have?
Because there's some place that they have like golf carts and they have horse and buggies. They don't allow automobiles on the
Um,
island. That's what I thought.
yeah, there are. It's M185 is the only state highway in the country where motor vehicles are not allowed. Pedestrians, bicycles, and horse-drawn carriages.
I I can live with that. The only thing about it is I don't want to live nowhere where it snows.
Oh hell no! You can, then that place, that lake freezes over on it. Man, you must be out your damn mind.
No, I think it's beautiful, and like I've told Nikki, who lives in Duluth, Minnesota, I would like to go up there in the wintertime, fly in on a Friday when it's snowing like hell and cold as hell, and walk around down near the where the harbor is and experience it, and then Monday morning get on my get on a plane back to down North Carolina. Uh,
It says Matt T. As promised, I wanted to provide you with more information about our features of Flash Pricer. Hate this if you don't like winning the buy box. Delete this. So let's delete it and shit. I don't want to only delete it. I want to make it where you can't send me anymore, motherfucker. Deleting is too easy.
$10 ice creams, night nurse. Ooh, that sounds like any touristy attraction, touristy place. Um, I
Yeah, I'm out.
know,
When it's that cold, I'm out. I'm sorry.
you know, like I said, and I like to snow ski, and I went out to Colorado several times to ski, and it was cold, and it was snowing, and it was beautiful. We flew in on a Thursday. By Tuesday morning, we were getting on a plane back to good old North Carolina, or at that time South Carolina.
We got in single digits for like a day or two this past year, and just to get me from the house to this building, I looked like the Michelin Man. I was walking like this while I was covering
You
clothes.
look like that little boy in the Christmas story.
I'm like, I have to open the door.
Oh God, I wish
I'm out
I
here.
wish
I'm
Jody
like,
had a videotape that,
I'm
or
like, I
she had
can't
to
go
tape.
inside because it's too cold. So I'm just out here peeing in bottles. It was terrible.
I just, like I said, I just want to fly up there for the weekend. Uh, chick, I don't,
I've
I
seen a couple of YouTubers go through RVers go through Mackinac Island,
yeah.
and supposedly the fudge is really good and all that stuff. But that's a lot of work to get all the way over there for that. I'm like, can't we buy fudge somewhere else?
Uh,
You
me
better
too.
stay
I don't even like going out in a car in the winter. I'm definitely not driving a snowmobile.
you better stay over on that side of the state because Detroit is taking its title back this year, I believe. Murder capital USA. I think it's either St. Louis or Detroit. One of the two of them was number one. The two murder capitals. Birmingham and Atlanta didn't make the list this year. What the hell?
Um, you know, and YouTube is all everything you see on YouTube is true. It's a lot of it's real interesting. Like there is a family that lives in Canada, and when the train their property lays up against a train track, and they go the train comes by on a Friday and it goes back by on a Tuesday. So they take the train in and they go in and they do all their shopping. Their kids will do any kind of because their kids are learning through the internet, through online schools. If they have to go in and do any kind of tests or anything like that, they go in. But the damn snow in the wintertime is like chest high. You can't, when they've dug a path that you can't even see beyond the edges of the path, the snow is so high. And I'm thinking to myself, God love you people. You're hardier than I am.
That's why I watch Todd Rendon up there in North Dakota out there snow blowing his driveway. I'm like, you're gonna be doing that shit tomorrow. You're crazy as hell to live it up in freaking North Dakota, Montana, wherever the hell he lives.
It's like I said, God love these people. I mean, I guess they're waiting for the zombie apocalypse or something like that. But I no.
I mean, when the choice of snow over your head or swamp ass, I guess I'm gonna take swamp ass because the hell with the snow over your head.
I mean, all I can say to that is just no. Uh, at one time, Roberta, they were talking about consolidating all the offices, and they were talking about moving to St. Louis. And Mr. Sadie told me to tell Roberta to find another job. Uh, but they even get too much snow. We are building a wall around northern Indiana. Night nurse, I'm assuming that you're up north. um,
Yeah, I'm out.
it just not no. It's and then of course during the summer when it's 110 degrees down here, we're bitching about it being too hot. But
I can
guess
deal.
what?
I can
I
deal
can
with
I can strip off clothes.
boom chicken nut.
Yeah, that's right. Uh, if the standard apparel is a full suit, full overalls, no coveralls. If you have to put that on and down boots before you can go outside, no, not happening. When my parents went on a cruise, they were in they didn't go on a cruise. They just took a tour to Alaska. It was July and it snowed like 3 inches on them up there.
I hate wearing a coat, so that puts me out of living anywhere north of where I'm at because I don't like wearing a coat. I mean, there's a huge difference. Huntsville is only 80 miles from Nashville, but they're in a different snow belt than we are. They get, you know, 8-10 inches a year. We get like one. I'm as
And this,
far north as you can go without dealing with all that crazy shit.
they're talking about like the northern parts going to get some snow this year.
Next week they're talking about snow.
Yeah,
If all the crazy that happens all through, I think Indy. She's night nurse says she's in Indy. I think Indy and Pennsylvania. There's a if you've watched, there's a guy on YouTube that it does a lot of weather, and he's like, the way these storms come together, the snow line goes right through Kentucky and
yeah.
across Indiana.
There's one guy. There's one guy that talks about after the first year, and I don't understand how they can do that. They can guesstimate next year when 2 days from now we're going to get 3 inches of snow and it's sunny and 70. But
If they're lucky in this, it gets that cold, you get a mangina.
yeah,
You have an
you like
innie,
to get
not an outie. And if it's below zero, you get an innie, not an outie. And it's crazy.
Indy. I have some friends that live right outside of Indianapolis. Um, but they're talking. This one guy was talking about like in January, February. All these different air currents are going to be combining, and it is sweeping down like over the Charlotte area. And he's like, it's a little too far out to really predict. He said, but just rough estimate, like our area could get anywhere from no snow to like 48 inches just because of the way the currents are. And then he was going, but this area, which was like Pennsylvania, those areas, Kentucky, New York, they're going to get this crap load of it. But that's the reason I have a neighbor about 3 houses down that doesn't live in Buffalo anymore. She's the one I've mentioned before that instead of taking 30 minutes to get home, it took her almost 3 hours to get home because of the snow. And by the time she got home, she had already checked her website for their company and found out they had an opening in Charlotte. Who was her former boss before he transferred to Charlotte? And she called him on his phone because she still had his number. And she says, "I hear you looking for somebody." And he said, "How soon can you start?" 2 weeks later, she was in Charlotte. But she got home. She told her family, who were already eating dinner, she said, "I'm moving to Charlotte. Y'all can go with me, or you can stay here." And she was a Buffalo girl. I mean, she had lived up there all her life. She learned to drive in that crap. But she said it just something flipped, and she had had enough.
There's a reason why people don't retire to the north. You get tired of dealing with that stuff. When is the last time you heard somebody go, "I'm retiring to the north"? You know, not only are you dealing with a bunch of people without your political views, and you're dealing with snow. That's got to be terrible to
Uh,
be miserable and deal with miserable people. Holy hell!
the Golden Finger Picker. He just moved back up north, and
Well,
when he posted that, I did commented on it, and I said, "Kids, you need to check on your mom and dad. I think they've had a stroke moving back up north when they lived in Pensacola, someplace like that."
yeah, I remember he's from Indiana.
Yeah, I know.
That's where they're from. They
I mean,
moved. They
I know a
moved.
lot of people that's from up north that they're retired in the South. They're not retired. They didn't go back to Indiana. Um,
James, I don't believe it, James.
it's let's see. Night Nurse said it. Most of their snow is north of Interstate 70. It's weird here. The I-85 basically cuts through Charlotte. They'll start calling for snow. The north side of I-85 will get 3 inches of snow, and we will get nothing. I mean, and that's the way it is all the time. Or if we get an inch of snow, they'll get 6 inches of snow up there. It's just weird like that. But I guess it's because Columbia, South Carolina is like the hot spot for the
They can say
Southeast.
they can say it's going to snow down here next Friday, and they'll start closing schools today. When I was a kid down here in the South going to school, they wanted me under a fucking desk and hold my head over for an atomic blast. We're practicing on staying in school for an atomic blast, and it's too windy. They're letting them out because well there's freezing temperatures, so we're going to let out school early today, and all this. I'm like,
Well, I can see the freezing temperatures
we're
because
making a bunch of wusses. They ain't no freezing temperatures. They ain't gonna kill them.
some of our kids are on the bus for 2 hours headed home.
They got heat and air conditioning on buses. They
Yeah,
used to be.
I
It,
can, but I can sort of understand the sub-zero temperatures. But
I had
I'm
an
with
hour
you.
both ways on a school bus with no air. Come on, in the South. Come on now.
Yeah, exactly.
The
You
air
better
was
put them windows down. You
down.
hot, put your window down. I grew up, as I've said before, in Goose Creek, South Carolina, which is a suburb of Charleston, and it is home to one of the largest nuclear missile warehouses in the world. So if the if South Carolina succeeds again, I'm gathering my crap up and I'm going across the border because we will win this time. Um, we would have hurricane drills because Charleston does get a lot of hurricanes, but
Tornadoes, all that craziness.
no, mostly hurricanes. But they call it hurricane drills. Go out in the hallway, that kind of stuff. Later on, when I became a teenager and was talking to one of my old teachers, we were talking about the hurricane drills, and she's like, that wasn't for hurricanes because we can see hurricanes coming for like days at a time. She said that was because of the weapon station. If somebody was to attack, we wouldn't know it. We wouldn't have a chance to get home. And
It wouldn't matter if you're out in the hallway under a desk, whatever.
exactly. Have you watched? If you can Google on YouTube the old films that we watched as kids, or I
I
watched the kids. You
have a
know,
hard, I have a hard time believing them films. Who filmed them? The cameras weren't good enough to survive atomic blast back. All that craziness. You look at the house. Have you seen the ones in the pictures where they're showing you the camera? There's a car in the picture. There's a car not. All that crazy mess about those films.
right?
It looked like it was on a TV set. You know, it's probably right beside the set where they filmed the moon landing.
Joanna says 33 is not freezing. Joanna hasn't. She still goes out to get the mail in her nightshirt and barefooted at 33. Because Nikki was laughing at me. Yeah, James, my those movies were etched on cave walls. Nikki, I would say something about it being cold, and Nikki's like, I haven't even put on my shoes yet for that.
Yeah, I'm out.
Which, when we did our adoptions, we had to get cleared by the FBI. You fill out a form, and they do a background check on you. Mine
Like,
should mine should have been empty easy because I have a FBI file because when we lived in Charleston, my dad was working for the company and he was a project superintendent over expansion at the nuclear missile base. So people in suits came and talked to all our neighbors and everything, and to school and all that to find out about us.
Lag's preparedness plan is he's on. He's gonna be sheltering in place and all this stuff, and he's gonna go back to breastfeeding from his mom.
That's right. He's he's got a snorkel already, so when his basement floods, he can go up. Speaking of breastfeeding, there's been a new update on the a creator update, YouTube creator update. Have you seen that?
What
Uh,
can you now whip him out on YouTube?
uh, Breastfeeding can be monetized on YouTube as long as there's a child involved in it and they're actually breastfeeding.
I don't read that mess for the most part.
Okay, so it can be monetized, and now Anissa, night nurse. Who else have we got? Joanna. Y'all can do your. You can go back. You can if you make your movies, your YouTube videos while you're grinding and twerking. It's okay to be monetized now. You can be monetized. Before it wasn't. Didn't know that.
I didn't know where you were going with that. I'm like, are you about to tell them to start breastfeeding people?
No, y'all can start doing your twerking movies, your shows, and grinding, just as long as you're not groping your partner or doing anything explicit like you're having sex. But if you're out there dancing and you're just grinding and twerking, you're good to go. They won't demonetize your video. So there's your public service announcement. Yeah, Joe. Uh, it's been some time ago. This woman was charged with a child abuse because she was still breastfeeding her 7-year-old son. My sister-in-law said when her children get teeth, it's time to give them a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Okay, Mr. Sadie, that will be a good video. We want to see you grinding and twerking. That'll make you enough money to become a professional bass fisherman. So anyway, that was what the creator update was for. So y'all can go back to grinding and twerking now. Well, we're finishing up this with a bang.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to go. You got to. Did you say you had to go to Tennessee to get your winnings or
I,
earnings?
I don't know if I'm going or not. I might just wait and go Monday.
Because you can't take stuff up there. You just go up there to pick up your.
I could wait until 3 o'clock or 3:15, and I could take stuff up if I want to do it 3:15. But I
Right.
don't even have it ready. I do that on Sundays.
Well, I guess Fridays is when people's picking up their
Yeah, they don't clear the tables. Did everything they sold last night.
leg. You need some help, son. Good morning, peddling profits. It's just and no, it's did you have a good night last night?
I saw what 550 something like that,
Well, that's good. That'll keep Joni and food for the weekend.
and Little Debbie cakes. Yeah,
Little Debbie cakes. Yeah, them damn Christmas trees. They are the work of God, work of Satan.
I don't know. I don't eat that mess.
I shouldn't. What do I do? What if I do that? My cheerleader,
Yeah, there's some.
Larry. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, Larry. I'm gonna tell you what. If you get out there in your cheerleading outfit, grinding and twerking, let us all know because we will have you will have the video of all videos.
That would be awesome.
No, that was on YouTube's creator list. I mean creator update.
All the damn four of the estate sales are open today. Already at 9 o'clock. Four.
Our estate sales run Friday, Saturday, and Sunday usually. We don't have any garage sales on Fridays, and that's because you have to have a permit. You're supposed to have a permit.
5 of them are open, and the other two open at 10 o'clock. So there's 7 of them today. 8 of them today.
Dang, dude.
A lot of people kick the bucket.
Y'all, you better get out there and start finding something.
Yeah, I'm gonna run to them to see what's up.
So, anyway, I'm going to try an experiment.
Oh Lord.
I I've been listening to a bunch of different shows, and people are always talking about, well, I need to find such and such, and need to find such and such. Used to be eBay had a a I want it section, so people could post stuff that they were looking for, and then if you had something they wanted, you could share your link to that item on eBay, and they took it away. Yeah, lag. I know. That's the reason you have that boyfriend and girlfriend thing going on. So I'm thinking I'm gonna do a video, and all it's going to be is a real short one, saying if you're looking for something, you should be why don't you look within our community? And Dusty hated that word. Every
I,
time
I agree with him. It's that's a made up term that people.
every time I hear the word community, I think of Dusty.
Have I gotten that old where it's just they'll come in like so John's chat, flipping ain't easy. I like John and Jenna, they're good folks. People will come in and say, "What's up, FAE fam?" Ain't none of these your fucking family. They couldn't care less. You're all competitors trying to learn about reselling. You're not family. Quit acting like this stupid bullshit so it makes you feel better. Or I hate that. And all these groups do it. Just because you watch the same thing on YouTube does not make you family. Quit pretending you want a family. How about talk to your own family you probably hadn't seen in years?
Well,
Yeah, I hate that.
I consider Night Nurse today's episode estate sale sponsored by Big Pharma. You should be saying that you're a nurse. Because aren't you working? Didn't you say on the other night on your show you're working on your BSN? Somebody was working on their BSN.
I'll have to make that. I'll have to make that short. Today I'm going to 8 YouTube sales. I wonder how many of them are sponsored by Big Pharma and the shot today.
Oh, that will get you taken down real fast, like.
People are like, but what about estate sales? They might dry up. They might do whatever. Not as long as Big Pharma is killing you, motherfuckers. There we go.
What was I saying? Oh, anyway, I'm gonna start a video that it's like if you're looking for something, post it in here. I'm looking for a printer because they were talking like on Night Nurses. They were talking about people needing a printer, blah blah blah. Well, I would think that the first place you want to look is within the community of resellers that you deal with. Because if I start looking for a camera or something, oh, which Roberta got me a an 11, GoPro 11 for my birthday, and
Damn, you fancy man.
I would reach out to. It was on sale pre Black Friday day. I would reach out to Scott, or I would reach out in my show. I would say, I'm looking for such and such. Does anybody got one? Send me a link. And if I need a camera, I'm going to district. Oh, bring that up. Look at here, 24K. He must be on his coffee break because he has a real job now, I believe. Um,
Yeah, I'm gonna be the if the bearded picker ever disappears, I'm coming back as the band picker, and I'm gonna have theme music in the background. Probably some Ronnie James Dio, the last in line.
what's a Fontanini? And this
Uh,
and this says, and good
uh,
morning, 24K.
Fontanini are the little brownish looking little. They do a lot of nativity scenes. They're small little.
Okay. They're supposed to be wood, but they're not wood looking kind of stuff. Is that what you're talking about? I mean, is that what
Yeah.
they look like?
Hey,
Anyway, I'll Google it.
Felix,
The wiener,
I hope you signed him with some lead.
the wiener dog picker. Yeah, that's what Scott's going to change his name to. And this is she's got wound up this morning. She
Yeah,
take your med-
I could be the wiener dog picker, and the music when the music in the back comes on. Boom, chicken now.
That's right. And this did you take your meds this morning? You're wild today. We know. We know. So head count. Has anybody started doing that other place? She just missed district. Is anybody on district?
Mm-mm.
Is anybody making any money on district? That's what I want to know. I'd like to know how people's sales are doing.
Well, you're only selling the resellers that are over there. There's limited customers, and that's the
I guess if you got like people that follow you on your not on your eBay channel, um,
and this you got
you
all
know,
them you got all them
like
children. You got to instant follow them.
you can send out a notice to them or whatnot. But like I said, I because even Poshmark, when they were doing a lot of that advertising. So, like I said, I'd like to know. You mean the Army? Yeah, the Amway district. You know, I wish them luck. I even wish Prairie Dirt. I hope they're being successful.
What prairie dogging?
Huh?
Prairie dogging.
Prairie Dog. What? Oh, it's Prairie Grit, isn't it? Anyway, I always called it Prairie Dirt. Truth be told, I want the live selling to go.
Yo, did they say you were crazy?
You had an epiphany, Mr. Sadie. I I don't think I don't know. I don't think their model. From what I gather, it's just like if you got not a Spotify account, Shopify account. It's up to you to promote your products and whatnot. Well, they're okay. I just don't ever watch them. That's the reason I could sell on whatnot. I just don't like watching them, and I don't feel confident enough to do it because I hem and haw and stutter and everything else when I'm doing this thing. And here, y'all are my friends. To do it to a bunch of strangers is different. you know, the stuff that I start saying my junk, the stuff that I sell on eBay, I just don't want to discount everything. If somebody, one of y'all, want to buy something that I have, then I'll, give you a break. I'll give you the friends and family deal. But I don't, you know, I've been getting too many people that's wanting prices, and I just tell them no. Like I said, I hope it works out for people. I do. Let me tell you what. I finally got my passport. It ain't going nowhere. Thank you for asking. When if I kick off, I'll make a note and to have Roberta contact you if I kick off. She maybe can sell it. She People want stuff cheap, and just because it's on eBay, people think it's going to go for cheap. Earlier, I started talking about we went to a truckload, a pallet place, and we bought this all these paper products, toilet paper and paper towels and all this kind of stuff, which was a good deal. But I was looking at some of the other pallets, and they were wanting a lot of money for this stuff, and I just didn't see the money in it because I scanned a few things, and I just I just didn't see it, especially the stuff that was like open boxes. Yeah, I thought about that, and 24K. I could pull a couple of terms in Congress and be set. What do you sell on eBay? I sell anything. If I can make a few bucks off of bicycle parts, all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's just I'm not a niche marketer, a seller at all. Yeah, but you know what? I honestly think uh, the storage auctions are going to get hot again because we've had like several thousand come online, units come online around here, and I've always made my money back plus a good return on when I bought storage units, just because you never know what's in there. And I give a crap load of it away. I give a lot of clothes away to the homeless shelters and that kind of stuff too. Yeah, they are. And James, there is a game out. There's a new computer game out called Storage Hustle, and I'm playing it. And I'm afraid people are going to get the wrong idea about that game. Even though they know it's a game, I think that they're going to think that you can just make. There's YouTubers out there that have put out the game. It's called Storage Hustler. You need to watch some of it just for entertainment function value, because it has it pretty straightforward about what you do and whatnot. But I think it's going to mislead people like storage wars did about storage auctions. That's just my opinion. As if y'all been listening to me anytime, I have some. I have a few, and You know what? Lost. I've never lost money on a storage auction based on the I spent this much money for it. I sold this much money. I sold this many products and I made this amount of money. Never lost anything in it. But I've bought some that has taken me a damn day to clean it out. And so when you start figuring in your time, you can lose a lot of money real fast like. But then again, one of the ones that took me all day to clean out looked like a junk pile, and I pulled about six items out of it that I made about $1,200 off of because there were some really good collectibles buried under that stuff. Exactly, James. Your time has value. You lost 10K. Holy shit, dude. For storage auctions, I guess average price would be about $90 because I have bought a lot of them for like $10 and made it. Like I said, I've always got my money back plus some money off of it. So around $90. I'm I'm also not very aggressive, and it's not afraid to lose money. It's the fact that I could, and the money that I spend on it is not going to affect me one way or the other than the fact that I spent this money and I've lost my ass on it. But the junkier, the better. And matter of fact, I bought a couple of lockers for like $10. They took me each. It took me a day to clean them out, but I made some big bucks off of some stuff that was in it. And also, in the process of doing that, they had a couple that didn't sell in the storage. The manager of the storage auction said, "If you'll help me clean these out, you can have whatever you want." And I made some bank off of those. So that was just the luck of the draw. I had just happened to be there at the right time. But one of the things about storage auctions is I don't understand why people are running up $500 bills and unpaid rent when there is $25 worth of stuff in it. I'm talking about the actual owner of the storage unit. They spend a lot of money storing, God knows how many boxes of bills I have thrown away um, that I found in storage units. And raggedy old shoes. I'm not talking about like new Nikes in the box. I'm just talking about an old pair of Nikes. Why were these people storing this stuff? Those Nikes should have went in the dumpster before they even got there because their soles are they just basically don't have any soles on them or any of that kind of stuff.
And not only did they not let it go, they paid money to store it.
Yeah, throw this crap away. If I had a storage auction, because it is a lot of work for the storage manager. If I was a storage manager, I would put up a sign, or when somebody bought something, it would flash up on the screen or saying, "This is how much it's going to cost you for this for a month." Is the value of the stuff you're going to put in this unit worth the money?
They don't. You don't want you wouldn't do that. You don't want to run your customers away. Let them store it for years.
Yeah, but it's a lot of times it's like that when Dusty bought. That one that hadn't been opened in so long that it was.
The guy he paid for years and years and years.
Yeah, and he did it. But good morning, Glenn. Night nurse, have you bought any auction storage units? It's fun digging through. I've got a friend. Well, I had a friend. He passed away down in Columbia. He bought storage auctions. He bought so many that he had a truck and two guys that was on the payroll. And his mother would sit there, all the boxes of papers and all that kind of stuff. He would stack them up over by her desk, and she was like 90 years old. She'd sit there and she'd look through every piece of paper, and he'd say, "Mom, why do you like doing that?" She says, "Well, we found money and we found gift cards, and they found some bearer bonds a couple of times." And he's like, "No, it's because you're just nosy as hell." Because some of these units I've gotten, there would be a banker's box full of, they've been in jail. This is their bond paperwork and all this kind of stuff. Why the hell would you keep that? Why would you store it? Is my question. If you need to keep it, you need to keep it handy. Yeah, it can show you. Um, you need to cut the middleman out and give it a go one time. StorageTreasures.com. That's who I use. Um, I don't use. They don't really have a lot of live storage auctions anymore. Which a couple of the managers that I've talked to said that they don't like it because people come in and the frenzy, they get into a bidding frenzy, so they don't really get as much money. Because like when I'm looking at an auction on StorageTreasures.com, I'll sit there and I will copy the photos and pull them into a photo editing program. I know that's extreme, so I can look at really what's in there. I can look at numbers off of boxes and have a better understanding of what's in it. Which is also like when if you go through high bid. Um, um, Now you made me forget where I was going. High bid. Highbid.com. Search. You can search for local auctions around you, and you have the thing about that is you have the time to sit there and look at the items, and then jump over to eBay and see what it's selling for.
Franklin said, "Remember everything Phoebe said. I love everybody. Everybody have a great weekend. I love y'all."
You and your dogs. Yeah, I got to get out of here. I got to go to the store for Roberta.
Even though your girlfriend told him to all go f themselves.
Yeah, that's right. Your sister. Um,
Not his sister. I'll stick it to her.
I'm assuming Todd is going to be back on Monday.
Isn't that right, little fella? Hmm.
Yeah, but you can find some. It's the fun of digging. If you got time, it's the fun of digging. But yeah, if you can buy one at a time, or that's that's a good thing. But on highbid.com, some of this gold and silver stuff that goes on there, I don't know what they're bidding on.
So tell Joanna, you just don't know, Joanna. I am a handsome fella. I have lots of pretty markings. I'm a handsome fella. Daddy likes my feet because they're spotted. Isn't that right?
Let's see. I
Isn't
want
that
to
right?
ask Joanna's got a question before we wrap this up. I want to ask y'all opinion on a reseller YouTuber I've watched for a good while now. It's like watching a train wreck. What the hell's? Anyone have an opinion on his drama? His attitude sicks me. I haven't watched them in a long time because they used to do storage auctions, and then they got in, started doing all kinds of other stuff, and I don't follow him. I mean, I follow them, but I don't really watch their videos. I haven't watched a video in a long time.
I know who they are. I've never cared for them. Never watched them. When you sometimes you learn too much about who they are personally and what they've done, and even though whatever, it doesn't mean I'm gonna be a fan or watch them.
Yeah, it's I they have a lot of they have a big following and whatnot, and that's great, and I'm glad they do. I want everybody to be successful. unless you go to head with me, and then I'm going to have to rip you apart. But
with all your 15 viewers.
yeah, about 15 viewers. Um, I'm just talking about business in general. But I want everybody to be successful. I want everybody to make money. But I just, you know, I have followed one young lady for years, and she just got so like she needs to be on some meds or something, and I just so wishy washy. I just had to quit following. I mean, I still subscribe to her, and I catch her every once in a while, but I just don't follow her like I used to. I see Scott just about every damn day, and if he says, "Did you see my short on such and such?" and then if I haven't watched it yet, he gives me hell about it. So as soon as the show's over with, I have to go over to his channel and I start his shorts and I just tell him to play all, and then I catch up on them.
Oh, I released a video right before we went live.
Oh, did you? So
It ain't a short.
it's not sure, but yeah, there's too much junk in lockers for reselling. Like I said, I give a lot of stuff away. Dishes and clothes, I take to the homeless shelters, or I take to there's a group here that helps people that's like had burnouts or you know bad domestic situations or having to set up households again. So I take plates down there to them and silver flatware and
I did some listening yesterday. You want to see one of the coolest things I picked up? That'll be your last thing before we go.
yeah.
I picked up a set of these at a yard sale.
What is that?
They're hard cases for a
Oh,
early '90s BMW motorcycle. I paid $10 for the pair. Uh, I got them listed for 150 plus shipping. The last one sold for 189 plus shipping
for a pair or for each?
for the pair.
Okay.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Um, the logos off of the logo tags, if nothing else, is worth a lot of money.
Yeah, the other one's over here. I grabbed it, but it looks the same. You can't tell the difference. And I did sell the for those of you who are paying attention. I sold the strawberry shortcake mug last night.
Oh, did you? Well,
$40
don't
plus shipping.
don't drop it and break it before you get it.
$40.
Very good point there. Focus on your goals, not the bright, shiny objects in the sky. You know, if making people start talking about making all kinds of money, if you need to make $1,000 a month and you hit that, you're good. If that's what you want to make your goal, you know.
I don't know if they're redhead or not, Felix. They didn't send me a picture.
Okay, we're going to let you advertise here. Felix got a Rolex for $20,000. I don't wear that kind of bling. It reminds me. It reminds me of Amway dealers and pimps.
Why? I've got a $5 Fitbit on. What do I need a Rolex for?
I know. Yeah, he Glenn just came in and saw your shirt.
Bigfoot walking a dachshund.
Yeah. Where did you get that from?
I don't know. Johnny bought it.
Oh, I didn't know whether that was something she created or not. Exactly. There's people that if they make $50 a week, they're happy because that $50 is going towards something.
So it turns out she didn't go to the crazy doctor, so that's why I had to listen to her stories from the pain doctor.
The pain doctor. She okay?
No, she's a pain in the ass.
Well, it's a good thing that Joni doesn't follow my show, or she'd be.
I tell her, what the hell?
Yeah, but you don't.
And she was going to eat. She was going to eat breakfast with a friend. So you can talk to me till I get there. I'm like, all right, whatever.
I mean, you just told all 24 of my viewers that you think she's a pain in the ass. So
I'll
when she subpoenas this video
I'll tell all my
and
viewers.
goes after your millions, I'm gonna have to give it to her. So anyway, thanks for
Uh,
watching this morning. Todd, I guess will be back on Monday. He didn't go that far. He just said that he wouldn't be here today. And
yep, I got 80 state sales to go to. Woohoo!
and as I've been saying before, and Night Nurse, I'll get your name added to the list. I've been putting everybody's YouTube channels in the descriptions of my videos. So if you need something to watch or want something to watch, check out these people because they support my channel by coming in here with all this nonsense. And
I put up a video, so y'all got something else to go watch. I think it's like it might be like 18 minutes. It's not a short one.
yeah, Scott, he's the YouTuber, so you're just gonna have to go watch what he's got. So anyway, have a great day, have a great weekend. Thank you, Scott.
Feliz Navidad, Merry Christmas.
Yep. Bye bye.